Hey, do you want to use the Canon M50 Mark II for your webcam? Maybe a great option for you. Oh, comes with a ton of headaches. Is it the right choice for you? I'll let you make the decision. Hey, I'm Scott Wilhite, the Record Yourself video coach. Super excited to help you out with this. So if you are looking to up your game and you want to have a really great DSLR camera for your web camera, oh my goodness, it makes the image so good. It makes you stand out, makes you look like a professional, looks like you know what you're doing, what you're talking about. Excellent way to stand apart and to show up and be a leader. Okay, now there are some upsides and downsides with using these. The upside is that you look professional, you sound professional, you stand out from the crowd, you're definitely a leader. The downside is these can be really quite expensive. Now, I have recommended the Canon M50 Mark II as a budget web camera for those that are on a budget and need that kind of thing. And I got to tell you, I just got one of these and it is so much of a headache. There are so many issues with it. I'm going to help you understand how to get through the issues and you can make your decision on if this is a good camera option for you. So just so that you know, right now I'm using this is a Canon 5D Mark II. This is a more expensive camera. It's a full frame camera. The whole setup here, I mean, it's like a $5,000 setup, you know, with the camera, with the lens. You have to have L-series glass. It's really an investment. This is like, I don't know, I think it was like $700 for the camera. The lens was maybe $300 and a pretty reasonable setup here to get this, but it comes with some challenges. My professional setup here, I turn on the camera, I fire up Zoom, I turn on my audio, I have my audio recorded separately here, and away I go. It has no issues. Anyway. It's fantastic. This has a lot of issues. I'm going to show you how to work through those. One of them is that Canon tells us this is clean HDMI out. It is not. That is a lie. It is mostly clean. The two main issues that I have had trouble overcoming is that you have to turn off the autofocus in order for you to not have other things up there. What's the deal with that? I mean, you want to have like this, you know, I can move forward and back and it's going to track me and it's not going to mess things up. I love this setup a lot better. Again, we're talking budget here. The other thing is that this will automatically shut off after 30 minutes. I've heard about some workarounds. It hasn't worked for me as great as I wanted to, but let me share with you some of the things that I have learned that you're going to have to do if you want to get the Canon EOS M50 Mark II to work for you. Okay, so the first thing is you will need to get two different cables here. So you're going to want an HDMI out and you're going to want the mini USB, and both of them you have to bring them into a little dongle thing like this so that they can attach to your new computer. I am using a brand new Macintosh. Love it. Great opportunity there. It's the Big Sur operating system. Now the interesting thing is Canon has a web utility so that you can use these cameras for a web camera. It doesn't work with the new operating system for Apple. What's the deal with that? So that doesn't work as a workaround so that this doesn't automatically shut off after 30 minutes. Okay. If you are on a PC, you may be it may help you. Okay. But I just want you to know about that. And by the time you watch this, maybe Canon has updated their software. They seem to be lagging in all of the Macintosh, builds for their software. So that may be a problem. But the workaround, if you're using Big Sur right now, if you want to use this as a web camera, is you use both the USB and the the USB and the HDMI out. And I just got to show you one more thing. Now the HDMI out is going to come to a little dongle like this. Okay. and this will then convert this to a USB system. By the way, one of the main reasons why I'm doing this is because I've been recommending this camera to anybody who's got my buyer guide, anybody that's part of my programs learning how to record themselves and show up truly as a leader, to be able to use video to get your message out there. And I just want to be really clear with you guys. I know I'm sharing with you the budget option. Here are the disadvantages. Another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that your monitor is stuck out. You know, this little flip monitor that it has. It will turn off, but you still need to have it open, I've been told, so that it won't shut off. I still have it shutting off, so I don't know how that's going to really help. Now let me show you the images that you're going to get out of this, okay? So right now I am looking at my Canon the 5D Mark IV, the full frame, the professional camera, the expensive setup. Here I am looking at this this EOS M50 MrkII budget lens or budget camera setup, and the image is pretty good. If you notice, the background behind me, you know, separates. Like there's some, it's out of focus. It's a juicy lens. I love it. And a nice economical setup. Now, what you're looking at to see this is my entire screen. And you're going to see on this screen that there's a few things that come up there. For one thing is you notice this thing around my eye. Okay, this is the autofocus. And this is the thing that doesn't shut off. This is not part of clean HDMI. You know, Canon tells us it's clean, it's not clean. Okay, because it still has this. In order to get rid of this, I have to reach behind here. I have to memorize where this is, reach behind here and touch this to turn it to manual focus. And then I've got words up there that say manual focus. So if I touch here and go to, this is another button, and go to the menu, I can turn that off. And now I have this nice, beautiful image with the background out of focus. I'm using the f2 pancake lens here. Again, if you got the gear guide, I have the whole setup in there for you. It's a beautiful image, but I'm no longer with autofocus. And so I'm going to need to stay in this same plane. I can't go too far forward or too far back, or I go out of focus. Okay, now the other thing that you're going to see as you're looking at my whole screen here is this is, okay, since I have a newer Macintosh, I can't use Canon's web utility because it's not available for my Mac. But they do have this utility. It's called EOS Utility 3. If I click that, this is going to give me my kind of a live view mode. By the way, let me share with you what I'm doing. This is the live view mode with the utility. This is my Zoom meeting. Okay, so this is what it looks like when I actually am broadcasting. So if I go back to autofocus, this is what gets broadcast. I see it says autofocus. I think that goes away after a little bit if you don't hit the menu. But then this tracking thing, I mean, that's just so annoying. You got to just turn that off and switch like that to get rid of that. So that's the system. That's how you do it. Okay, now this disk utility is supposed to let your camera not shut off after 30 minutes. Canon's got this auto feature that it shuts off after 30 minutes. I have found a workaround around it. I was told just by having this open, it would stay on and active for over 30 minutes, but it still shuts down. I don't know if it's the newness of my computer or what. I have found a workaround with it, and that is to make an adjustment in here within that 30 minutes all the time. So what I will do is I will just click this. I know this is not a great option, and switch over to this. It doesn't affect anything on the picture, but it just refreshes that 30-minute, gives you a new 30-minute time limit from there. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it does allow you to have this nice, beautiful image here that you're broadcasting on Zoom. Anyway, it's a pretty beautiful camera. The other thing is with this utility, the nice thing about it is you can change, once you have your setup, you can just use this to be able to get the kind of image that you want. Okay, so the way that it works, you want to use, I've got an f2 lens on there, so you want to make that just as, as small as possible. F2 is a really great option there. because I'm shooting 24 frames a second, I want the or the 150 frame rate. Those two things never change. Also, a lot of times I use auto white balance because it just works pretty well. And then what I do is the only thing I have to change, the only thing you have to change is the ISO here. If a cloud comes over and it gets really dark, you might need to change it down to 250 or 320 or something like that. What that does is it brightens it up in the camera so that if it's dark out here, it's going to look great. You adjust this one setting right here. See, now I'm going to see if I can go a little too dark. Well, that isn't bad. There's a lot of light going on in here. But that one setting will help you get just a beautiful image, beautiful exposure, and a great lens. You can close this, and then you're just working with zoom. What I do often is I will move this I will move this image so that it's as close to my camera as possible, so that as I'm you know, if I'm on a Zoom call or something like that, I can look at the person and have some pretty good eye contact with them and just cheat it a little bit. So anyway, hopefully that helps you understand what it looks like on the image, what it looks like as you are broadcasting. And anyway, that's the problem. But that's how you can make this stuff work. If you're willing to go with some of those workarounds, I mean, this is going to eat up a few spaces. You're going to need extra cables, but for a pretty economical price, you can have this beautiful little camera, this image where things are nicely out of focus. I'm just going to make this bigger. Oh, by the way, one more thing. So you will pick your display on Zoom. You just do that in the camera settings. So this is from my laptop right here. This is the default that most people use. It's horrible. You don't want to use that. So you come in here, you click video, switch over here to USB camera 3. That's because it's coming through the little adapters there. Again, this is all in my gear guide. Hopefully you got that, and then you're good to go. And then so right here, this is what the image looks like, nice and big. You can see how beautiful. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at this camera, right? How beautiful the image is behind. Let me just make sure that we're totally in focus. So I'll turn that on, and then I turn it off, and then I click this a couple of times to get that menu away, and that's a pretty good image. Right? For a budget, that's a pretty good image, and it's going to make you totally stand out from everyone who's using just the defaults. Okay, you have to decide whether it's worth going through the headache of all the extra things that you're going to have to do. But hopefully that helps you to understand the settings that you need to do. Make sure that you use EOS Utility 3. You can use if you have a PC or if you have an older Macintosh, or if Canon has somehow come out with their web camera utility to work for you, that may be a good option. One caution though is I've heard that it degrades the image quality. You're not sending out full HD. You're sending out something less. So you might want to look at that before making that purchase. But hopefully that helps you understand if this little camera, the Canon EOS Mark III, I'm sorry, the Canon M50 MrkII is a good camera for you. Nice and compact, pretty inexpensive. The image quality is beautiful that comes out of it. You will not be able to have autofocus on, and you may have to keep waking up your camera in order to use it on video conferencing. If you're willing to work with those two headache options, hey, it might be a great option for you. Hopefully that helps you. Check out more of my videos if you want to learn how to record yourself and show up as the leader that you are. Hey, do you have a message inside of you that you really need to get out to the world that is part of your reason for living? And maybe you've been thinking, I can't do it because I can't afford a video crew. You can actually record it yourself. Happy to share with you how. Just go to scottwilhite.com for more information.